Hey friend, if you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed when it comes to songwriting, this video is for you. Just want to do a more casual video where it's a bit of a pep talk and some guidance if you are somebody that feels like you're just so overwhelmed with songwriting, you're not getting better, maybe you can't even finish songs, you feel like maybe you're an idiot or a failure or you're not talented or you're not good enough. And the first thing I want to say is, first of all, pretty much everybody hits that stage. And almost certainly those conclusions that you're coming to where you think you suck are not the case. Most often, the reason that you're going to get stuck in songwriting, or you're going to be in a situation where you realize, man, I haven't even finished a song. I'm just frustrated. I feel like, what on earth is going on? I can't even finish a single song. How can I have the audacity to want to be a songwriter or to think that I could be a songwriter? And a lot of times, the reason people are in that situation is not because they're untalented or they're stupid or any of those things. Most of the time, it's because they're skipping ahead. They're trying to do calculus before they learn algebra. They're trying to ride a bike before they learn to ride a tricycle. They're trying to run before they learn to crawl or walk. Crawl, walk, run, as I like to talk about. Very often it's because of things like that. Very often people will message me where they're like trying to write their first song or their second song. And they'll say something like, yeah, Joseph, I heard you say, like, write a song in a single key, right? You know, pick C major, have all the chords, all the notes be in C major. But the Beatles did this one thing in this one song, and they have a major 3 chord. And it's okay if you don't know what I just said. The point is that they're already trying to figure out, oh, let me do some more advanced music theory, music compositional things before I even understand the basics. I've not even really written a song yet. I barely even understand the basics of keys and how they work or what notes are in what keys. And you're already trying to skip steps to writing a song that like breaks the, music theory rules, if you want to call it that. It's not really that, but if you want to look at it that way, it's very important to make sure that you do the crawl, walk, run. That's why in the mini course that I have, that's like the easiest way to write a song. Call it Songwriter Jumpstart, because it's literally 4 videos, where I break it into essentially 3 steps, and make each one as simple as it possibly can be. And the most simple way to write a song for your first time is to simply utilize what I call stock chord progressions. Sort of condescendingly, I guess, towards the chord progressions. But essentially the same old chord progressions that have been used a million times. Do I think that's a great way to write a song generally? No. Do I ever write songs like that at this point? No. Like, maybe the last time I did it was like as an experiment to push myself to do something simpler than I usually do, like 5 years ago. But, like, for the most part, yeah, I don't think it's a great way to start a song. But it is the best way to start a song when you're starting out. If when you're starting out, you're trying to learn all this music theory, and you're trying to, write complex, interesting, intricate chord progressions, it's like, no, just do the simple thing first. Learn to crawl first. Learn to, do basic 2 + 2 = 4 before you skip to advanced calculus. This is how all things work. Songwriting is no different. Are there going to be people that are the exception to that, and for whatever reason they can kind of skip? Maybe. I don't know. But for the most part, we all would be better off if we were intentional about just go one baby step at a time. Be intentional about writing at the edge of our difficulty level. That's another important thing. If you don't write at the edge of your difficulty level, A, you're probably going to get bored, and B, you're probably not going to improve. But also it's important not to write way outside of your current skill. This is how everything works, right? When you're learning your next piano piece or guitar piece, when you're taking lessons, they don't give you a piece that's way harder than anything you've done before. They give you something that is, by a little bit, the hardest thing you've ever done. Right? It's right at the edge of your skill, so you have to practice. You got to earn it. But you can do it. Because if you just keep failing because they keep giving you ridiculously hard pieces, A, you're going to quit, and B, you're not going to actually get better because you're just trying to skip steps, and that's not how things work. So the best way to improve at anything is to do things at the edge of what you're capable of. You're not going way outside. And also, you're not just doing the same old stuff that's easy to you, because you're not going to grow if you're not at the edge. So if you're somebody that is feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed and you're like, man, I can't even write a song. I can't even finish a song. The first thing to look at is, are you trying to do too much too soon? And it might be the case that you're not excited by your first 5 songs. In fact, that's probably what your expectation should be. I mean, whoever in their first 5 songs is like, oh yeah, I wrote a great song, my second song. I don't know about you. I mean, I started songwriting sort of at like 12-ish, but in seriousness, I started at around 15, freshman year of high school. And almost every song I wrote until I believe junior year is embarrassingly bad. Like technically there's a recording out there of one of them that certain family members of mine have, and they are sworn to never let anybody hear it because, you know, it wasn't very good at first, right? But that's how it starts. That's how we start at everything. That's totally okay. It doesn't make you talentless. Also, talent's overrated, but it doesn't make you talentless, doesn't make you an idiot. Just set yourself up for success. Go in order. Start simple and keep adding just one wrinkle, right? Your first song, your first 5 songs, literally use stock chord progressions. Maybe for those songs, have one chord progression that you have for the whole song. And maybe for the whole song, you don't even have a bridge. You just have verse, chorus. That's it. 2 musical parts to write. Then for your next song, add a bridge. But still, one chord progression for all 3 song sections. Then in the next song, have a different chord progression for your chorus than you have for your verse. But maybe you go back to just verse and chorus. And then you have 3 different chord progressions. One for your verse, one for your bridge, and one for your chorus. And still, we're talking about stock chord progressions, right? You're just Googling, like, most popular chord progressions. And you pick 3 that are all in the same key and go. Then it's time to maybe, let's learn a little music theory. Let's learn a little bit about what are keys, what are chords in context of keys, because that's unbelievably useful for songwriting. It's maybe the most useful thing you can learn about for songwriting. And otherwise, you're going to be limited to stock chord progressions your whole life, or just not be able to be intentional about the music you write at all, which to me sounds frustrating and awful. But you have to do this one small step at a time. I say have to. Have to strong. It's probably going to set you up for success and to just have a more fun journey to writing better songs and learning songwriting. So if you're stuck, make sure you're at the edge of your current ability. Not way over the edge, not even close to the edge of your ability, because then you're not going to grow. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. You can do it. Absolutely, I know that you can do it. For almost all of you watching this that are thinking, you know, you're down on yourself and you feel like you just suck and that's the reason, it's almost certainly not the reason. It's almost certainly not the reason. It's probably more just you're trying to do too much and you need to dial it back. You need to be willing to crawl before you walk. Be willing to walk before you run. And by the way, if you want some help with writing songs in key by knowing what all the notes in keys are and the main chords in keys, be sure to check out my free keys cheat sheet. Really simple. All it does is lay out for every single key. All right, G major. Here are all the notes you have in G major, and here are all the main chords you have in G major. Triads, if you care to know. If you don't know what a triad is, don't worry about it. Basically, triads are all the main chords, like major chords, minor chords. Those are triads. So if you want to know the main chords you can utilize when trying to write a song in G major, and all the notes you can utilize when you're making a solo or you are writing a melody, you want to know, okay, what melodic notes do I have when I'm writing a melody for my song in G major, then that cheat sheet is for you. Makes it really simple, doesn't force you to learn anything, it just gives you the answers. I do think eventually learning how it works is absolutely super useful. But for now, you want to do crawl, walk, run. You want to be at the edge of your difficulty, right? At the edge of your ability. The best way to do that is don't jump into, oh, I'm going to learn all about key. Nope. Just take the answer key first, and then we can figure out how it works. So anyway, my gift to you, songwritertheory.com/keys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll talk to you in the next one.